I'm Mo.
And I'm Spady.
And this is another episode of Corporate Dropout.
Where you getting entrepreneurship in real time.
Bum, 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 bum. Hey, we gotta plug in some music right there. Like, hey, what's going on, Felicia?
Nah, we need a stack of papers like we reporters.
Oh, right. Even if it's blank. Even if they blank, we need papers, yo. Like, that joke just makes things so much more
you just stack
efficient.
them, lay it down. People think you got like stuff on it. Yeah.
And also, I need an earpiece. Even if the cord is like not connected to anything.
I got one for you though. Hello. Okay.
All right, we back. All right, so today's topic is no wasted interactions. I have my views on on the angle that I think that takes. Spady has his views on the angle that he feels that it takes.
There's many different views.
But the thing is that's why this show is what it is, because we give you all types of angles, and we feel like if you can't relate to us, man, it's gonna be hard to relate to anybody, dog, because we give you so many flavors and spices.
Yeah, because we giving you the real time experience, the real life experience, the experience that the successful ones. Not that they don't give it to you, but they can't give it to you in real time, so therefore they can't elaborate on their past experience, because it's natural for human beings to forget things. Mm-hmm. Just like if you did something as a child and your sibling reminds you, like, you remember when you did this? You're like, oh, I forgot about that.
Exactly.
Like, so that's why we want to give it to entrepreneurs in real time, because it's like there's things out there that you think you're going through by yourself as a business owner, mm-hmm. when really all of us are going through it. Not necessarily struggling, but when I say going through the experience of it. So it's not necessarily going through a struggle, but going through the successes, mm-hmm. Going through the wins, going through the losses, going through the progress. So we just want to give it to y'all real time so that you know what to expect when you start to run your business. So today's episode, no wasted interactions.
Okay.
So what exactly do we mean by that?
So I'll give you my view first, right? My view of no wasted interactions. You get into a room full of people. You don't know where those people are from. You don't know those people's backgrounds. When you are able to come out of your shell and present present your business or whatever it is you're working on to a stranger and not be bashful about it, that's what I mean. So it's one thing to just introduce yourself and keep it moving, but it's also another thing to identify an opportunity to present your product, because you never know. And don't prejudge people, right?
Yeah.
Don't prejudge people. So this guy, he might be a janitor or looking person or whatever, right? But
let everybody know about your business.
If he engages you, man, find a way. I'll give you an example. I do Uber, right? I do Uber and Lyft. 80% of the reason why I love Uber and Lyft is because if there's not one time that a person's going to get in my car and not some way learn about my business. And I can't tell you how many clients that I've gotten from Uber and Lyft. So you can't be embarrassed, number one, of your means, and then number two, you can't be embarrassed. Like, if you're embarrassed of your business, then how are you even going to push it? It shouldn't be a secret. You should have confidence in your business, and you should feel confident letting people know about your business. Don't waste anybody's any opportunity to bring up your business to anybody. I wouldn't. I don't think that it's really going to be beneficial for you in the future.
Yeah, because you're wasting the opportunity to either gain a new client, a new customer. Mm-hmm. So every chance you get, you want to let people know, which can be a little bit nerve-wracking, because in your mind you may not feel like your business is put together. Mm-hmm. Like I know when I first started, it was certain people like I don't know if I want to present my business to them. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm ready for the job that they may have.
Exactly.
But that's wasting an interaction.
Because they can teach you something.
Because you can learn something. Going to somebody that's probably the best thing to do, to go to somebody who you think you're not ready for, because then they could tell you what you need, mm-hmm. to be prepared for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I know this person. He's part of this big corporation, and he's a higher up, and I don't know if I want to go ask him to be my marketing, one of my clients from a marketing company. Mm-hmm. But if I go and speak to him, he can tell me what I need.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Or who knows if he may even just need somebody like me. He might need somebody like me. So you never know from speculation. You got to actually go and talk to people. You got to let people know. Whether it be social media, even social media. Sometimes we don't put up certain posts because we think we're not, prepared for a certain opportunity. Whereas I know there's been times it's like, man, we both have done it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just post this anyway.
For content's sake.
Just for content's sake. And somebody end up reaching out to us and boom, we got a customer or a client.
Exactly.
Or a new contract. And so, yeah, I mean, I get it. You don't want to waste any interaction when you're out and about. Let everybody know who you can. And then another thing, you don't know who people know.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I think most of my clients are people that learned about me indirectly. So like I let one person know about it and they passed the word on. Exactly. You know what I mean? And then that person who they passed it to was like, oh, I need a marketing, you know what I'm saying? I need a marketing guy or whatever for whatever they do. So same thing with the shirts. You have a couple experiences where like
a majority.
Like, hey, I do shirts. Even though that person you're presenting it to may not need it, that particular person, but they may know somebody, and that person may know somebody, and it just trickles on. So yeah, you don't want to waste interaction with nobody. I don't care where you are. You be at a carnival, you could be at the grocery store. Let everybody know. If they don't do anything up front, so be it. Just keep going. You know what I'm saying? But don't waste any time. Don't let time tick, because all that's gonna do is prolong your process, like of you making money. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get it. You'll get it. So that's your aspect of not wasting interaction.
Yeah, that's my aspect, and this, just to add to that too, is it's a domino effect.
We got time, by the way. So
we got time, like a mug. You feel me? So just to add to that is that it's a domino effect, right? If you don't, in order to feel comfortable with not wasting interaction, you have to be confident in yourself, but you also have to be okay with someone rejecting you. A lot of us have deep-seated issues that supersede business. They're personal issues. Yeah. So maybe you need to ask yourself, why do I feel so apprehensive about even approaching this person with my business? Is it because I don't have confidence in my business, or is it I don't have confidence in myself, period? You see what I'm saying? So the first thing you need to do before you even are able, because you need to approach the situation with confidence. You can't just be like, hey, I do t-shirts. Huh? What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good job, man. Keep going.
Yeah. Let me get your card.
Opposed to, man, if the confidence is everything. So no, you can't waste your interaction, but you need to prepare yourself too. Number one, prepare yourself for rejection. How many times do we hear no in what we trying to do?
I've had people tell me no and still refer me.
Exactly.
Like this is weird. Like,
and I've had people tell me no, but they also told me why, and then I went home and fixed it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's what I was trying to lead to earlier. Like you never know what you can get. Yeah. Whether it be the actual money, or it can actually be some advice to get you the money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, man.
So your aspect. What's your aspect on
it? Well, when I think of no wasted interactions, or knowing when to stay away from certain type of people, because what you're saying is let everybody know what you do and really push it. Mm-hmm. So, what about once you get a client and you already got them? And you don't want to waste any interaction. So when I think about it, I don't want to waste any good energy on a bad client.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
I like that.
So like, what if I have a client that, and I know you know from this story, I had a client that continually wanted me to but continue to make edits over and over and over and over and over again, which is fine because I work for you. You work for me. We're in a, it's a business to business, contract, but in partnership. But it got to the point where he didn't know what he wanted. And then when I gave my advice, he didn't want to take the advice. So do I continue to keep this client on? Because I'm giving a lot of time and energy into this big project. It was a big project. Mm-hmm. So it took a lot of time and energy. So I did my absolute best to try and make it work. And one thing I noticed is that when a client just isn't cooperating, do I still want to give my energy just to try to prove to him that I'm a good company or a good business?
Exactly. I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Now I wouldn't.
Right, but you get caught up in the like, oh man, this is a big contract, this is a big deal, and then for some reason they just can't make up their mind, because there's people out there that, and there's business owners out there that, and customers too, that don't know how to make up their mind on certain things. I was given the go on a lot of things from this one client, and he just, once it got completed, he changed his mind completely after the completion, and he wanted me to redo it a different way because, you know, he slept on it or whatever. And then we're talking like months after months of work that was put in, and the work came out exactly how he wanted it.
How he said 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 he wanted it. And then, you know, you go ahead and put the work in, and next thing you know, they changed their mind on it. It's like, okay, well, I need an extension on the contract in order to do the additional work that you want. Well, he didn't want to do the extension. Now, do I try to prove to him that I'm this good company and be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got it. I'll take care of it for you. Because when you first start your business, you want to be like, you know, A+, Better Business Bureau. Like, you know, that's the mindset that you have. Like, you don't want to be able to, you don't want to turn anybody down because, for one, you don't have a lot of money up front that you're bringing in. So you kind of sacrifice, you know, a little bit of work, extra work, just because you want to make that check. And I wanted to close out that contract. But at the same time, you also want to be like, you know what? I want the word to be passed along that I'm a good business, that I'm a good business owner, that I'm conducting good business. But sometimes you don't want to waste your interaction with bad clients. I had to close out the contract because it got to the point where it was taking time away from me with other clients. So not only was I not being paid, or not even not being paid, because I was being paid, but I was wasting a lot of energy. I was putting so much energy into this one client who was making things so difficult to where it was taken away from the clients who were making it easy for me.
So that kind of, but see, that goes back to my original sentiment, right? So it's confidence, right? So at first the confidence was to explain and put your business out there, right? But now confidence plays into a center where you have to have confidence in the quality of your service and the quality of your good. Enough confidence to be able to say no, because what do I always say? Sometimes saying no is the best business decision that you ever make. So if you want to hold the value of what you have, and you know that you fly in what you do. Right. Sometimes you have to have the faith that somebody else will come, or they'll come around, and you got to be able to cut it off. That comes with experience, and then also turn it into that translates into confidence into what you're doing.
I put it like this: if I would have tried to complete that contract, I would have lost every client I had.
And is it worth it though?
For this one guy. For this one guy.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it at all.
It was wasted energy.
You have to constantly evaluate what you're doing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing is, like I said, you have to have the confidence in your product. You have to have pride in in the things that you can deliver, dog. Because people, clients, God bless their heart, but they will take you as far as you allow them to take you.
As you let them.
You see what I'm saying? So with that guy, he was just gonna keep on going.
He was.
He wasn't
gonna stop.
He wasn't gonna stop. You see what I'm saying? So that in that sense, that was definitely turning into a situation where it was a wasted interaction.
It was a wasted interaction.
It was a wasted interaction, bro. A wasted interaction.
Get up out of there, because like I said, it was taking time away from the clients who were my good clients, who were making it easy for me to run my business. Not saying you're not gonna run into difficult clients, but there's gonna be certain situations where you gotta say no to.
Exactly.
You gotta say no to. Have you had to say no to anybody?
So I haven't had to technically say no, but I've had to allow people. I had to give people the I guess the ultimatum, right? Where it's like, okay, well, this is what I can do, And if you would like for me to do those things, then I'll do it. These things that you're asking me to do, I can't do those. And I don't want to, and the worst thing you can do is commit to something and you don't fully know that you can get it done. That's the worst thing that you can do.
Well, that's a lot of the reason why people don't do the interaction that you were talking about, where they let people know about their business because they're scared they might not be able to perform.
But that's the thing. You need to know. So if somebody says, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, can you?"
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you don't just say, "Yeah, I can do everything." I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody that I can do
because it sound good.
No, you have to know your business model. So
right.
Yes, I'm in t-shirts. I do this, I do that. But there are certain things that I do not do as a person who makes t-shirts. So I need to let people know up front. I heard one of the guys who I actually follow, Jeff Bezos, right? And one of his things that he said was, you can sell tickets to a rock concert, right? Mm-hmm. You can sell tickets to a ballet, but don't sell tickets for a rock concert and it actually be a ballet. You understand?
Right.
You need to let people know exactly, because so you might think it's terrible and you don't want them to know, like, dang, I don't want to tell them that I can't do this. But in reality, you need to tell them, because it's going to be worse if you tell them that you can do it and then you can't deliver. It's worse.
Yeah, I'd rather let you know exactly what I do. That's actually really important, because I started off having a list of services that was this wide.
Exactly.
It was a long list of just like services that I offered. And what I started to notice was that, yeah, I can do those services, but then I can only do them to a certain extent. So then I made the business decision to shrink my service list of what I offered and have a niche of what I do. So like, this is what I do. So that long list of stuff, when I would explain it to people, they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I need this. But then when I tried to do it, it just it was good, but I didn't specialize in that just because I offered it. Like, we all know services that people offer or that businesses offer that we know they don't specialize in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like you don't go to certain places, even though they sell seafood. They don't. If they're not a seafood restaurant, you probably don't want to get seafood from there.
You get Burger King eating hot dogs.
Come on, bro.
Right. So
preach up.
so I was offering. I wasn't a seafood restaurant offering seafood. You see what I'm saying? So what I had to do is I had to shrink my services. That way, when I did speak to somebody, I could speak confidently about something that I knew I could specialize in, and that I was able to perform and give them results. Because people listen to you when you present something to them, especially when it's your own business.
First impression, they give
people love interacting with entrepreneurs and business owners. They just like the vibe of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and they think it's interesting, especially with the internet nowadays. So one thing you got to do, be confident. Like you said, it comes down to be confident about your business and what you do, and go through your list of services and reevaluate. Like, what am I good at and what am I not so good at, even though we offer this? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't good at seafood, so I had to take seafood up out of there. I was all right, but I didn't specialize in that, because there's people out there who do specialize in making
and you don't want to be a B
in making baked salmon,
plus or a C plus.
Right. So I was
in that area. You don't want to do that.
I was a B making B grade salmon, while somebody else is out there who specializes in that particular arena making A+ salmon. So then when I presented it to the person, the content, once it was finished, they're looking at it like, hey, can you do this a little bit better? And it's like, nah, like, this is how I do it. But I didn't live up to the expectation that I set. So
and that kind of segues us into what I think the third thing would be, as far as like not wasting interaction, right? So we talked about business, presenting your business. We talked about once you're in business and weeding out bad business. We also need to talk about soliciting help, right? And mentorship. No wasted interactions. So if you see somebody or you meet someone who has a wealth of knowledge, don't be so pompous and so high on you being a business owner yourself to waste that interaction with a person who may have a more of a specialty in something than you do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, prime example, right? When I first thought about actually really going full time with what I'm doing, right? One of my sisters-in-law's boyfriends, his father is in the same industry that I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to be just like bullheaded and think that like everybody's out to get me and I can't do this, I can't share this and all that, then I would have just set out to say, you know what, man, like I don't even want to talk to this dude because he's doing what I'm trying to do. But the reality is that in me sitting down and having a conversation with this brother, number one, he's not even that type of person, right? I found it out quickly, right? He's a helpful type of person that wants he sees a young black man trying to do something and he's trying to help him, right? Then the second thing is the wealth of knowledge. There were so many things that he told me, so I didn't even have to go through the lesson. He told me. Yeah. So it was like, imagine if I would have wasted that interaction. I sat there, we were at a family function. We were there for hours. I could have sat there for hours and not even brought up the fact that I was about to start my own business.
And some people be scared too to let other businesses know who are in the same market or in the same field, to let other people know that they have the same type of business. Actually, in my mind, those are the people you want to talk to. Like, you want to talk to other t-shirt t-shirt owners because you learn from that. So what, they might take your idea. In order for them to take your idea, they would have to put in the same amount of work that you put in.
Exactly. If you put in that work, then nobody can't take it.
Nobody could take it if you putting in more work than anybody. So there's a whole bunch of digital marketing companies out there. I know this. But I'm my own brand. You see what I'm saying? Like, Apple didn't make the first cell phone.
No, they did not.
You see what I'm saying? So just because they didn't make the first one doesn't mean that you can't pass anybody up. You gotta go and talk to people. You gotta no wasted interactions. Talk to everybody. You know what I mean? Talk to everyone, no matter what they do, no matter what you think they might do. I remember the first night we tried it, I decided to start Spady Marketing. And the very first night, I was like, man, where were we? We were just out. We were at a bar, and we was just chilling, smoking hookah, whatever we were doing. And I was like, man, I'm going to start my company tonight. I'm making a decision. And the first person I saw who looked presentable as if, they had like a lot of money or whatever, I was like, man, I'm going to go talk to him and tell him I got a marketing company, and I'm going to see what I can get from this guy, what kind of business I can get from him. And the first day, I didn't even have any paperwork done. I just up and decided, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this. But you got to go with that kind of confidence. And I went up to him. Now, he ended up not being a client. But what it did was he told me what I needed in order for me to be a client for someone of his caliber. And from there, that got the momentum going. So imagine starting your business off with that kind of advice. The very first day, you decide. Because when most people start their business, they do it like when they talking to like a group of friends and they sit down like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start this business. What y'all think? We sat down, and the very first day I go to somebody, that moment, that time, right then and there, and it gave me a momentum stepping in to entrepreneurship. Like, I didn't waste that energy. I could have easily just been like, nah, I ain't gonna go talk to him. Because I remember I had tapped you. I was like, hey, look at that dude over there, man. He got that bag.
He got it.
He got that bag, man. I should go
talk
to him.
Look at his face.
And then, but I could have easily just said, at that point, I could have easily just said, man, I don't got nothing. I ain't ready yet. You know what I'm saying? I just, I don't got no paperwork to give him, no business cards, no nothing.
Not around me, you weren't gonna say that.
Nah, not even a little, not even a little bit. But not everybody has you. You know what I'm saying? Some people have people that may be like, well, what you gonna do? And they'll probably just let you make your own decision. So, when I ended up going to talk to him, he gave me, we actually ended up setting up meetings over the phone. Some of his business partners, we got on the phone, we got conference calls. We ended up meeting up at certain places where paperwork was laid out and everything.
And I'm gonna touch on something that you went past when you finished. All right,
cool. Now I'm just saying that to say is you never know what somebody has available to them. Don't be afraid to give the interaction, to put the energy out there about what you do and why you do it.
And don't be too big, and don't think you're too good to do it either. I wanted to go back to what you said. Everybody don't have a me as well. Everybody don't have a you, right? So the final thing is it not wasting your interaction with people who aren't about anything outside of business. You have to be around people who are doing what you want to do or have done what you want to do. Right. So, case in point, but there's stages in life, right? There's stages in life. So you have to decide where you want to be at. So there's a
easily skip that too.
Beauty supply. There's a beauty supply store that my wife goes to, right? She knows the owner. The owner, I went and she wanted to introduce me to the owner so bad. She's like, I want you to meet Tony. He's cool. He's from here. Such and such. Blah 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 blah. He just started from nothing, right? I go and I talk to him. He tells me a story. He's like, there was this older lady in the industry. She had given me a ticket for free for like 5 years straight to a convention for beauty supply, right? I kept pushing it off, like, lady, like that's not something that's going to be beneficial to me right now, dog. Like, I'm grinding, I'm getting my store together. You see, I got my storefront.
He was wasting the potential.
He was wasting the potential interaction, bro. But he finally, on the 5th one, he finally was like, you know what? Because she would, and the beauty of this lady was that she wanted him to succeed so bad that she kept on inviting him and being persistent. You need people like that around you that are going to be persistent in helping you, right? When they know that it's something beneficial. He finally went on the 5th one.
So she was giving him the gas to make the interaction.
He finally went on the 5th one, right? And he said that literally during that meeting, he learned more within those, I think he said he stayed there all day, than he knew for the whole 5 years. He said that there were techniques that the people who own all of the beauty supply stores, I ain't gonna say who, there were techniques that these people were strategically executing that we know nothing about. And him in specific, he knew nothing about until he went to this thing. And now he has more than one shop. But he sat on that for 5 years. He could have been. But he felt like he was too ahead or had his stuff too much together to take this lady's free invitation.
So that's kind of the opposite of what we talking. We was talking about not having confidence in taking an interaction. But what you're talking about, he had too much confidence
in what he was doing,
and feeling like as though I don't need to make this interaction.
Exactly.
Therefore, he ended up wasting an interaction anyway. But eventually, of course, it goes back to what you're talking about. When you have certain people around you, they'll gas you up. Not gas you up like get you to do something stupid, but they'll give you the momentum to go, and they'll push you to go and talk to that person. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, you wouldn't have let me, even though that wasn't the case, but you would not have let me not go talk to that guy. Like, you say you're going to start a business, go ahead, start a business. Like, you wouldn't have let me do it. Even though I went anyway, but we know that you wouldn't have let me slide on that one. Like, we know that.
No,
but those are the kind of people,
because I don't expect you to do that with me.
Right. So you want to hang around people that are gonna be like, yeah, I think you should go ahead and do that. Why not? You want to be around those people definitely so that you don't waste interactions. Man,
look, dog. Hey, it's only gonna get better, y'all. Just stick with us.
Do we have next week? Is next week ready or not?
Man, we got next week, man.
What next week looking like?
We got next week, man.
What next week's episode?
Man,
topic.
No.
Matter of fact, a lot of people, if you on the live right now, or if you end up watching the live, go ahead and let us know in the comments. Give us feedback on what you think. Some of our topics should be, or what questions you may have. We're open to answering questions.
Exactly.
Just leave them in the comments. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Spady Marketing, Spady. So shady, but with a P. Spady.
Minus the H. You hear me? All right.
Minus the H. So Spady Marketing on Instagram.
And I'm at N as in Nancy, WAGUI.co on Instagram. You ain't.
Are you gonna force them to click the like button?
Oh, you gonna get this like. You gonna get a subscription. And if you haven't gone and looked at episode 1 or episode 2 already, do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Get caught up, man. We like all them stuff that y'all like, right? Like Insecure and all the other little shows. Go binge watch, even though it's only 2 other episodes. Go binge watch them 2 episodes and then check it out. Give us feedback. We want to be interactive with everybody. We want to give you content that you need. We want to know what topics y'all want to hear in the future too. Exactly. So if there's something that we aren't hitting on, let us know. And we look at everything. We look at all the comments, all the likes, all the feedback from everybody. So
if you haven't, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur to watch this.
Exactly, this is life stuff.
If you're even thinking about going into it, if you're not thinking about going into it, just like I said, give us your feedback. Let us know. We'll always answer back and reply to whatever we can, and we'll go from there. So episode 4 next week.
Episode 4 next week. So with that being said, I'm Mo.
I'm Spady.
And this has been another episode of Corporate Dropout.
Dropout.
We are out.